Hello everyone, in today's class we will be studying some of the important classes of enzymes that makes up the genetic engineering toolkits. The learning objectives are to study some of the tools used for introducing a new gene into a plant to make a transgenic plants. They include the enzymes like nuclease, which is categorized into endonuclease and exonuclease, ligase, polymerase, DNA modifying enzymes like alkaline phosphatase, methylase, ribonuclease, terminal transferase, deoxyribonuclease. First we will see the functions of nuclease. Nuclease enzymes are the essential tool in the genetic engineering. Nucleases are the enzymes that cleave the nucleic acid. Nucleases are belonging to the class of enzymes called hydrolases, which are usually specific in their actions. Nucleases are found in both animals and plants. There are two primary classifications based on the locus of their activity. The first enzyme is exonucleases, which can digest the nucleic acid from the end. The second nucleases is endonucleases, which can act on the regions of the middle of targeted molecules. They are further subcategorized. This we can see it in the further slide. Why don't the bacteria destroy their own DNA with their restriction enzymes? The answer is the bacteria have the restriction enzymes, also called as restriction endonucleases. The function of the restriction endonucleases is to cut the double-stranded DNA at a specific point into fragments. Interestingly, restriction enzyme does not cleave their own DNA. Why is it happens? They have two specific reasons behind the scenario. The first one is the recognition sequence normally does not exist in the bacterial DNA. The second one is if the recognition sequence exists but the enzyme is methylated specific, bacteria prevent their own DNA from chopped down by the restriction enzymes through methylation of the restriction site. Methylation of the DNA is a very familiar way to modify DNA function. Bacterial DNA is highly methylated. The overall process is called as restriction modification system. So, when a bacteria encounters a new viral DNA, the endonuclease of the bacteria can only cleave the viral DNA so that the viral DNA cannot integrate into the bacterial DNA. Restriction enzymes are one of the essential tools in the genetic engineering, which are used to make recombination DNA. Restriction enzymes are discovered in the late 1960s. More than 2,800 type 2 restriction enzymes have been identified from a variety of bacterial species. Restriction enzymes are found in bacteria. They recognize and bind to a specific sequences of DNA called restriction sites. These enzymes recognize about 200 distinct sequences, which are 4 to 8 bases in length. When it finds its target sequences, a restriction enzyme will make a double-stranded cut in the DNA molecule. Typically, the cut is at the near the restriction site and occur in a tidy, predictable pattern. Purified form of these enzymes are obtained from the bacteria and are used as a molecular scissors. The enzyme isolated from the bacteria has to be named with certain rules. As we all know that we use binomials to all the living organisms to be followed universally. Same as there is also a rule which has to be followed to name an enzyme isolated from a bacteria. Let's take an example of Escherichia coli called as E. coli with the strain RY13. The first rule says that the name of the enzyme isolated from the bacteria should have the first alphabet of the generic name and the second and third alphabet of the species, followed by the fourth alphabet of a strain, if any. For example, if we take an E. coli RY13 strain, the first alphabet from Escherichia coli is E. The second and third alphabet of a species is CO, and the first alphabet of the strain is R. Here, the Roman number 1 is given to the enzyme because it was the first enzyme to be discovered. Let's study the role of EcoR1, a common restriction enzyme used in the lab. Let's see how EcoR1 cut at the following site. When EcoR1 recognizes and cut this site, it always does so in a very specific pattern that produces end with a single-stranded DNA overhang. An EcoR1 enzyme binds to the EcoR1 site in a piece of a DNA and makes a cut on both strands of the DNA. The pattern of the cut is recognized only at GNA site. Thus, it produces an overhang of 5' AATTC 3' on each end of the cut DNA. In another piece of the DNA at 3' has CTTAA 5' has a matching overhang. The overhang can stick together by complementary base pairing. For this reason, the enzyme that cleaves single-stranded overhangs are said to be producing a sticky end. Sticky ends are helpful in cloning because they hold two pieces of DNA together, so they can be linked by the DNA ligase enzyme. Not all the restriction enzymes produces a sticky end. Some are blunt cutters, which cut straight down the middle of the targeted sequence and leave no overhang. The restriction enzyme SMA1 that is obtained from Serratia marcescens is an example of blunt cutter. The SMA1 enzyme binds to the SMA1 restriction site, which is between the 5' CCC GGG 3' to 3' GGG CCC 5'. This enzyme makes a cut in the middle of the sequence on both strands, producing a blunt end. The cut sites are between CCC GGG of 5' to 3' and between GGG and CCC of 3' to 5'. Blunted fragments can be joined to each other by DNA ligase. However, blunt-ended fragments are harder to ligate together. Palindrome sequences are anything which reads the same in opposite directions. In English, if we read the word Malayalam from this end to that end, it will be read same. Here in DNA palindrome, it is slightly different because our DNA is double-stranded. Let us take an example of DNA palindrome. In this figure, there is a nucleotide GG, AT, CC reading from 5' to 3'. This is complementary to CC, TA, GG reading from 3' to 5'. On the two strands in the same direction, the sequences are read same. That means a palindrome sequence is a sequence of nitrogenous bases in a double-stranded DNA or in the RNA, which when read from 5' end to the 3' end is same as that of on the complementary strand read from 3 end to 5 end. So far we have seen the role and the functions of restriction enzymes, and now we will see the uses of restriction enzymes in the following areas like DNA fingerprinting, DNA typing, that is DNA profiling, DNA sequencing, gene splicing, that is otherwise called as recombinant DNA technique, transformation, at last in the Human Genome Project. If Restriction enzymes are like a molecular scissors, then DNA ligase is like a molecular glue. Scientists can use this restriction enzyme to generate DNA fragments and DNA ligase to glue those fragments. If two pieces of DNA have matching ends, then ligase can link them to form a single unbroken molecules of DNA. In DNA cloning, restriction enzymes and DNA ligase are used to insert gene and other pieces of DNA into plasmids. If you have learned about DNA replication, you may already have met the DNA ligase. In DNA replication, ligase job is to join together the fragments of newly synthesized DNA to form a unbroken molecules of DNA. The ligase used in the DNA cloning do basically the same thing. If two pieces of the DNA have matching ends, then the DNA ligase can join them together to make a unbroken molecules. DNA polymerase is a specific class of enzymes found in all living organisms. Its main purpose is to replicate DNA and to help in the repair and maintenance of DNA. The enzyme is critical to the transmission of genetical information from one generation to another generation. From the time of their discovery, DNA polymerases have paved the way to new understandings of how DNA is replicated and how it is transcribed. This enzyme adds deoxyribonucleotides to the free 3' OH of the chain undergoing elongation. Alkaline phosphatase is also an important enzyme. Suppose if you are going to use a plasmid as a vector, we know who is plasmid. Plasmid is an extracellular genetical material in a prokaryotic cell. By using endonucleases, this plasmid can be cut. After cutting the plasmid, a linear straight molecule of DNA with one end of 3' with OH group and other end with a 5' with a phosphate group is formed. The phosphate group and the OH group is used to form a phosphodiester bond. Alkaline phosphatase will remove this phosphate from the 5' so that there is no formation of phosphodiester bond. So, the linear chain will be having 3' OH and the 5' end without a phosphate group. Now, a new gene of interest can be incorporated where the new gene 5' phosphate binds to the 3' OH. These groups of enzymes perform a role completely opposite to the one performed by the alkaline phosphatase. This enzyme belongs to the family transferases, especially those transferring phosphorus containing groups, that is phosphotransferases, with an alcohol group as an acceptor. Polynucleotide kinase is a T4 bacteriophage enzyme that catalyzes the transference of gamma phosphatase from ATP to a free hydroxyl end of the 3' DNA or an RNA. The resulting product could be used to end label DNA or RNA or in a ligation reaction. This terminal transferase enzyme is obtained from the calf thymus tissue. Terminal transferase catalyzes the incorporation of single deoxynucleotide into a 3' OH terminus of single or double stranded DNA. Deoxyribonucleases can catalyze the hydrolytic cleavage of phosphodiester bond in the DNA backbone. Based on the position of action, these enzymes are broadly classified as endodeoxyribonucleases, which cleaves DNA sequence internally, and the other one is exodeoxyribonucleases, which cleaves the DNA terminally. Unlike restriction enzymes, DNA does not have any specific recognition site, and they can cleave DNA sequence at random locations. There is a variety of deoxyribonucleases known which have specific substrate specification, chemical mechanism and biological functions. They are deoxyribonucleases 1. This nucleases can cleave double-stranded DNA or a single-stranded DNA. The other one is deoxyribonucleases 2. It is not specific endonucleases with optimum activity of acidic pH and conserved from human to Xenohabilis elegans. Some of the common application of DNA 2s are DNA fragmentation, molecular weight markers, cell apoptosis assay. Methyltransferase or methylase catalase is nothing but the transfer of methyl group, that is CH3, to its substrate. The process of transfer of methyl group to its substrate is called methylation. Methylation is a common phenomenon in DNA and protein structure. Methylation normally occurs on cytosine residue in DNA sequence. In protein, methylation occurs on nitrogen atom either on N-terminus or on the side chains of the protein. DNA methylation regulates G or silencing the G without any changing in the DNA sequence. In bacterial system, methylation plays a major role in preventing their genome. Ribonucleases can catalyze hydrolysis of ribonucleotide from either single-stranded or double-stranded RNA sequences. RNAs are classified into two types based upon the position of cleavage. The first one is endoribonucleases, which can cleave the internal bonds. The second one is exoribonucleases, which can cleave the terminal bond. RNase is important for RNA maturation and processing. RNase A and RNA H plays an important role in the initial defense mechanism against the RNA viral infections. So we have come to the end of the session. So far we have learned the importance of classes of enzymes that made up the genetical engineering toolkit, and we also learned the enzymes are purified from the wide range of organisms and can be brought from various suppliers also. This further will help you to understand to carry certain modification in the DNA to produce clones. Thank you.
Want to know more about these topics? Please follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and don't forget to subscribe our channel.